everyone. I'm Debbie Henry with the Hartwell Hustle, and this is where we talk about everything Hartwell, everything that makes us great, the charm of the town, the interesting people in the town. And you know what? Today we are serving up a special treat. We have Scot Howard here, and he is going to talk about a barbecue sauce that he makes and tell us how he got started and where we can find it. Welcome, Scot.
Thank you, Debbie.
We're so glad you're here.
I appreciate it.
Sure. Tell us, and I always start the show out like this. Tell us about you, not about the business, but who Scot Howard is.
Well, I just finished up 30 years at the post office. I retired, and my wife and I moved up here to Lake Hartwell full-time about 2 years ago, and we bought up here about 10 years ago. And before that, we were into the bicycling. I think the Kiwanis Club had the challenge of the centuries. And so that was what introduced us to Hartwell. And so we kind of fell in love with it and always planned on being up here. And my wife works for the University of Georgia, the 𝗪𝗿𝗁 Institute. Mm-hmm. And so she's working full-time with that. And I have twins, 21-year-old, and my son Michael is at the University of Georgia Law School, and my daughter Caitlin is taking kinesiology at the University of North Georgia.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so tell us about, first of all, what is the name of your barbecue sauce?
The name is Reed Creek Barbecue Sauce. It's something that we moved up to the area and just fell in love with Reed Creek, our neighborhood. And it was just, at the time, with my name being Scot Howard, I was almost going to call it Scot Howard's Barbecue Sauce because of the Georgia Bulldog announcer. But because it would have had name recognition. But my son kind of convinced me. He said, Reed Creek has the ring, and we love the area. So I'm glad, no looking back. So we named it Reed Creek Barbecue Sauce and went from there.
And so what inspired you to do the sauce?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I spent 10 years as a chef in the restaurant industry and honing my skills and that. And then my wife became in education, and I knew compatibility, working every weekend, and she wouldn't be. So I finally got out of that and got on with post office. And after about a 30-year career there, one time, when you work at the post office, you see every magazine that there is, And I was talking to a coworker, and I was just like, we see every magazine there is, but I never see a barbecue magazine. And so me being a foodie and, experience in the culinary field, I was just like, I'd really like to start a magazine to go to all these southern, out-of-the-way barbecue restaurants and write about them. And the guy I was talking to happened to be a web designer. He's like, look, print is dead. It cost you a fortune to upstart that. Let's design you a website and go from there. And so we came up with where'sthebestbarbecue.com. And I went out on that and used my culinary experiences, and we'd go to all these barbecue restaurants, and we came up with a squeal meter, and we give them a rating of 1 to 5 squeals.
And that's funny. We should have brought a squeal meter here.
And it really took off, and people really started getting a lot of hits. And I even had restaurant owners getting in touch with me, wanting me to come to their restaurant and give them a squeal rating. And so we just had a lot of fun with that. But that got my introduction into the barbecue world. And the more hits we got, I was just like, I know I have a culinary background, but I should really kind of legitimize this. And so I found out the Kansas City Barbecue Society offered judging classes, and so for their competitions that they hold. So I was just like, I think I'll do this to help out, give my website more credibility coming from a certified judge. And so I took the course, learned about all what you're looking for as far as, competition style barbecue, award-winning barbecue, from the taste, the texture, the appearance, and all that. And after the course, it's cute. They have you stand up and face west towards Kansas City and raise your right arm. And give a pledge to judge fair and honest barbecue.
Okay.
So that's what got my wheels going into the barbecue world. And then when you're at contests, I started judging all kinds of contests, and you get some that is just off the charts delicious. I mean, it's they're masters of their craft, and what you get in competition is worlds apart from a restaurant. And then so from there, just this tasting this wonderful barbecue, but you also get some that's not quite on par, And so after a few contests and being the former chef, I was just like, man, I really think I can do better than some of these guys. So I figured if I can talk the talk, then I should walk the walk. So I started a barbecue competition team. And then from there, I thought I'd go out and win all these awards, and I found out real quick there's a huge learning curve, and I got humbled real quick.
Was that in Jefferson? Where was that?
It's all over
Okay,
Georgia.
so y'all traveled, your group
Wherever
traveled.
there's a thing. I think the last one we did was in Greenwood, South Carolina. So
Okay.
they're all over the place. And but then from there, I thought I would win all these awards, and I didn't. And it was a humbling experience, and I knew I had a lot to learn in the professional world of barbecue. And the first thing that I realized real quick is you can't go to the store and use one of those sauces because they're filled with artificial ingredients. They're filled with liquid smoke. And if a judge tastes any of that, they know it, and they're going to score you down from the beginning. And then when a judge does a contest, you get 6 entries in front of you, and you have 1 bite off each piece, chicken, ribs, whatever it is, because they're not going to and eat the entire thing. So I found out that you really only have 1 bite to wow a judge. And so with my experience from being a chef making soups and sauces, I knew I had to create something that would provide what I like to call a wow factor. And then from there, that's how I developed the barbecue sauce. So.
Nice. Okay, so it wasn't a family secret or anything like that.
I wish I could say it was, but
well, it is now, huh?
Yeah. Now it's a big family secret. But it was just wanting to developing something that had just layers of flavors that could catch a judge's attention, and that's what I like to think that I did. And like I said, we call it the wow factor because you have 1 bite and you want the judge to go wow. So,
is your barbecue? I've not tasted it yet.
You will.
Is your barbecue? Okay, so I've lived in Texas, but I'm from Georgia. But I know that there's mustard, there's vinegar, there's ketchup, and you mentioned, which I did not know about your sauce, that it didn't have the artificial ingredients, that kind of. Tell us about the sauce itself.
The sauce is really, it's just starts out with the brown sugar and vinegar to give it its tang. And then from there it gets ketchup, and that smooths it out. And then from there, the herbs and seasonings and everything else that I put in there to balance it. Because on the flavor profile, I kind of wanted it to be bold and get your attention. And then from there, you get a little bit of the sweet from the sugars, and then the twang from the vinegar, and then the spices kick up at the end. So I wanted to develop a flavor profile that really just stayed with the judges. And so,
okay, so it's not a vinegar base though, or a mustard base.
No, because it's like they say, Georgia's a melting pot of sauces because you have the vinegar influence, mayonnaise from Alabama, and like you said, mustard from South Carolina.
I don't like any of those. I like the ketchup one.
Yeah, most people do, and so that was what I was just trying to develop, was something that, like I said, would get the judges' attention.
Okay, so I want to come back to the sauce, but let's talk about your logo. I'm looking at your shirt. You've got Reed Creek Barbecue. Tell us about your logo. How did you come up with that?
Well, really, the same fellow that was a web designer that I worked with at the post office, he's just really into the internet. He's also a graphic designer. And so when I was coming up with this, I came up with all kinds of names, but Reed Creek kept coming back. And I told him about my idea. And he just got on and started sending me, the cow and then the Reed Creek and the barbecue sauce. So I was very fortunate to have, his name's Bill Beasley, and I was very fortunate to have Bill in my corner. And he loves my barbecue sauce. And on the logo, it's not on this one, but it says crazy good on everything. And he's the one that put that on there because he loves my sauce. And he even told me, he said, Scott, this is crazy good on everything. So he goes, I'm going to put that into your logo. And I said, have at it. So,
yeah, because you don't put it on just meat.
No,
you can put it on lots of different things.
Yeah, we pulled out of the refrigerator with chicken nuggets, corn dogs, hamburgers, hot dogs, and you name it.
What's your favorite way to use it?
My favorite way is, well, no doubt the barbecue on smoked chicken and things like that. But really, it's so versatile, and it goes, like I said, we'll pop some nuggets in the microwave and pull it out and just use it as dipping sauce. And we always use it on our hamburgers and hot dogs, and of course, all the smoked meats and grilled chicken and things like that. And so, let's
go back to the sauce. Let's talk about what goes into it. Do you get local? I mean, you said some herbs, or do you grow your own? Or
I wish I could say I have a field full of tomatoes and make it from there, but I don't. I use a co-packer we found in Tigard, Georgia.
Okay, so local.
Yeah. And so they were very instrumental in getting me up, and as far as the bottling process, labeling, and all that. And so they were a lot of help. And so I would get with them. And but like I said, it's mostly brown sugars, vinegar, ketchup, and then just herbs and spices, nothing homegrown as far as inside the sauce.
Okay. So what's been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I think, is just getting people to know who you are, number one, because there's a plethora of barbecue sauces out there, and for you to stand out. And that's why I do local tastings. I've been to Ace Hardware, has been wonderful. Quality Foods, I just
you were at Quality Foods last week, right?
Quality Foods. I was at 𝗪𝗿𝗁𝗪𝗏 Friday and handing out and just get people to taste it, because if I can get people to taste it, 9 times out of 10, I can they'll purchase it and take it home.
Okay. So let's talk about the fun part. Well, it's all fun, I guess, but it's interesting to me. Who was the first shop that said, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to let you put your sauce in my shop?
Well, I never forget, I went into Hometown Butcher here in Hartwell, and Cade was just, I told him, I had my sales pitch already and told him I was a local business, and I was from Hartwell, and I had my barbecue sauce is Reed Creek barbecue sauce, and he said, I want it. So he was more than welcoming, and I couldn't ask for a better place to be my first one. It was such an easy transition to get in there, and then from there, got the word out that he's carrying it.
Okay, good. And I love that, because he's local, and he took a chance on a local person who's now doing really well. So I love that. So in your sauce, are there different temperature levels, or is it all the same? Is it consistent across the board? Or?
It's consistent. I've only got the one. It's on the sweeter side. It's not spicy at all, because when it goes back to competitions, when you do a competition, the judges want their barbecued almost candied sweet. So a lot of people are worried that it's too spicy, but it's not at all. It has herbs and spices in it, but it's not a spicy sauce. So, but it depends. Like I said, we pull it out of the refrigerator and serve it with nuggets, or, at the end of my smoking or grilling, I start basting it on there, whatever I'm having.
Okay. And tell me again, you probably said this, how long have you been doing this?
I created the sauce probably about 2010, so it's about, 15 years now.
So it's been a good while.
Yeah, and I finally retired and said I got the time to pour into this, and I've been making it for friends, family, coworkers, neighbors for so long. So, we decided to take a shot and bring it to everybody's kitchen table, and hopefully it'll make their barbecue stand out.
Well, a friend told me about you. And just so you know, if you have someone that you want to come on the show, let me know, because this is the best way for us to find out. And it's like you say, there's a lot of different sauces out there. But someone said, hey, have you tried the Reed Creek barbecue sauce? Well, I hadn't. And then guess what? I go into Ace Hardware, and there it is. I go into Livonia, Sweet Combs of Honey, and there it is. So it's really everywhere, which I love. I love going in and seeing local. Where else is it?
It's in the Hartwell area. It's at Hometown Butcher. It's at Ace Hardware, Reed Creek General Store. I had to get it in there with the name Reed Creek in there. Market 50, and now Quality Foods in the Hartwell area. And then in Livonia, it's at Sweet Combs of Honey, the Texavonia Meat Market, and 𝗪𝗿𝗁 grocery store down there. And then in Royston, we're in 𝗵𝗵𝗁's Bakery and Bistro.
Yeah.
And then from around Georgia, it's in Dahlonega at the Tomato House. It's in Claremont. It's in Gainesville, Jefferson, Arcade, and Athens. So
it is
blossoming.
Really is.
Considering I just started this in April, I was really surprised.
Okay, just marketing it. You just started the marketing of getting it out there.
Yeah, and that's why just once people find out what you're doing and word gets out, and these are Georgia businesses that are just more than willing to help a new Georgia business. So it's been the welcoming response I've gotten has been just really awesome.
I love that. I love that. Do you have any employees?
No, just I'm CEO, president, delivery man, salesman,
marketer, everything.
Whole 9 yards.
Everything. Okay.
I told the preacher the other day, he's asking what I do, and I said, I'm president and CEO of Reed Creek Barbecue Sauce, because I've always wanted to say that. So here I am. So
is your favorite thing to do dip or grill, or is there a
I really like it all. Like I said, it's so versatile. It goes with everything. I did a bacon wrapped meatloaf the other day and just kept basting it with it.
Bacon wrapped meatloaf.
Oh, yes.
Tell us how to do that.
Well, really, I wove the bacon, and you can go to my page on my Facebook page is Reed Creek Barbecue Sauce on Facebook, and it shows exactly what I did. I wove it, and then I think it was about 2 pounds of hamburger, salt, pepper, about a half cup of the barbecue sauce, a packet of onion soup mix, and then 2 eggs and about half a cup of breadcrumbs, and put it all together and put it in a mold and put it in, and then wrapped it and put it on the smoker. And I think it took about 2 hours. And towards the end, after the bacon started cooking, I just started glazing it with the sauce. And that's the first time I smoked a meatloaf, and it was out of this world delicious.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, it was. I've had so many comments saying, I make ribs for people a lot of times. They're like, heck with the ribs. That meatloaf looks so good. You've got to make us some of that. So. That's
comfort food there.
Exactly.
So how has your culinary experience bled over into this? I mean, because someone can make barbecue sauce, and I would say they just make it. And they don't have that culinary background, which really I think would impact.
I think it just comes back with my time making soups and sauces. Is you got to have a base and build from there, and then once you get your base down, and then you balance out the flavors. So I think just learning how to do that over the years really helped me to where you're not too strong on one end, and like in barbecue sauce, you don't want too much vinegar, and at least in my sauce, or you don't want too many herbs overwhelming it. You want everything to have a nice balanced taste.
Mm-hmm. Do you foresee doing any other flavors or anything like that? Or are you going to stick with the?
I have a lot of requests for a hotter version of it.
Oh, really?
So I would really like to come up with a spicier version. And I have all kinds of rub recipes. So I'd like to do my chicken rub, my pork rub, and all that. So as this keeps developing, I hope to come out with more and more products. So.
And would that still be called Reed Creek, like Reed Creek Rub or Reed Creek?
It's been so good, and it's get familiarity is everything. And so the more familiar people are with the brand, the more likely that they are to purchase anything with that name on it. So.
Do people outside of the area, I mean, if you go locally, they know Reed Creek. But let's just say you go to, you said Dahlonega. Do they?
Ain't got a clue.
They have a clue. They just know Reed Creek Barbecue.
That's where I kind of wish I'd stayed with the Scot Howard name just for the familiarity of the Bulldog announcer. But no, we're happy with Reed Creek, and it'll make a name for itself. So. Okay.
So what do you see for the future?
The future, really, I just wanted to keep growing it as is, and I'd really one thing I wanted to start up this business was to give back, because my son was we were originally from Jackson County, and FFA was so instrumental in my son and scholarships and things like that. Yep. So I'd love to give back to the FFA, and now that we're here in Hart County, help them out and just give back to the community that's been so just welcoming and the great response I've had with this sauce.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, I'm going to ask you a weird question, because I always ask at least one of those.
Sure.
So this barbecue sauce, if it was a person and had a personality, what would the personality of the barbecue sauce be?
Well, I designed it to be bold and wow in your face. And when I think about that, I think about the wrestler, Randy Macho Man Savage. Just had the look, the hat, and and so if I had to give it a personality, I'd give something loud and bold like he was. So.
Okay. And so you say the community's been supportive.
Very supportive. I mean, so many people, when I do these tastings, I get so many people that come up to me and they'll open up their phone and show me what they've smoked or grilled, and people are DMing me pictures of my barbecue sauce next to their, on top of their ribs or pulled pork or whatever they're having. So it's been a wonderful thing. When I retired, I've been talking barbecue for many years, and now to be retired and just go to these places and give out samples and talk barbecue to people has really been it's just neat. It's almost not work.
I was going to say, isn't it great in your retirement to get to do something you love?
Absolutely. It fills my time, and I've always been passionate about it, so it just fit right in there for me.
And you mentioned your wife works full time.
Mm-hmm.
Does she ever go on these trips with you, or?
Once in a while, my family's about burned out on barbecue. Unfortunately, because when I first started competing, I had friends, neighbors, I was smoking everything in sight just to get more and more practice, because I would only cook about 4 or 5 contests a year, and I judge 4 or 5 contests a year. But you got guys that are out there every weekend doing barbecue at these contests, and to try to get at their level and compete with them is really hard, and it takes a lot of practice and a lot of experience to go toe-to-toe with them.
Okay. Is there anybody that locally who has influenced you and who really has impacted your business?
Well, besides the fellow that helped me with my old website and then doing the logo design and everything, Bill Beasley, here in town locally is Bill and Sarah Powell.
Love Bill and Sarah.
They have just been wonderful and instrumental in getting the word out in the community about the barbecue sauce. And Bill's been the biggest cheerleader, and he's came by my house and taken pictures of the bottle, which, speaking of, I bought a bottle for you to enjoy, but this is the product. And
yay!
I brought you some
Y'all
to
know
enjoy.
how I love gifts.
But we love Bill and Sarah Powell.
Yes.
They are just a bright spot in the community, and just couldn't ask to befriend a better person.
Right. They are pillars of this community,
Exactly.
and they are the biggest cheerleaders of everything Hartwell.
They are.
So
They are.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'm not surprised.
Okay.
So let's talk about the unique uses of your sauce.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was doing a cooking demonstration, and this little old lady came up to me, and she was complimenting me on the sauce and told me how much she enjoyed it. And she said that her favorite way to use it is putting her Bloody Berry mix.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And so it kind of caught me off guard when she said that, because everybody's talked about all the meats and everything that they used it with. And
But you know what? That's true.
And then when we went home and tried it, and I said, well, it must be something to it. And so we added some, and you got the sweetness and the tanginess of the sauce, and then you mix it with the hot sauce and the horseradish, and
Right.
it really did gel together pretty good. So
Right.
it's a unique thing. So try it in your Bloody Mary mix.
That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And then, everyone's always concerned about quality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about quality.
Well, I was too, because this is a sauce that I've been making for 15 years, and as a former chef, I know what I had in it, and when I had to go get a co-packer to make it, because when you do these sauces, they want them approved made in an approved FDA kitchen, and so
I'm sorry. Explain what a co-packer is.
a co-packer will take your recipe and bottle it for you and everything else, but
Okay.
they have gone through all the federal guidelines to make your food, which is FDA approved.
Okay.
It's hard. You can't just do this out of your kitchen. There are cottage laws, and they've changed. So some people I know are doing jams and jellies, but for my purposes, with the safety label on it and the safety cap and everything on it, a co-packer. And plus, they help you with the designing, labeling the bottle, pumping it, the bottles full and everything else. So I would love to make it myself, but in the beginning, they were instrumental in getting me up and going, and that was my biggest problem. Is I've been making it so long. I was like, are they going to be able to put the quality and have the same flavor that I do? But they were more than welcoming. They opened up the kitchen. I got together with their saucier, and we got the kettles going, and I think we made about 20 or 30 gallons a day. And we'd add a little bit of this and tweak it here or take away a little bit, but all in all, the end product is exactly what been making in my kitchen for years. So I'm very impressed at the level of quality and consistency that they've been able to provide.
And that's local?
It's in Tiger, Georgia. So,
That's right. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, good. Okay. What have we not touched on that you want our reader or our viewers to know about Reed Creek Barbecue?
Well, really, I just, like I said, when I go and hand out samples, most people take one bite and they're giving it they're going and buying it. And I mean, it really is a unique flavor. It's a bold flavor. It's going to add a lot of character and impress your guest at your next barbecue. So I hope that you'll go to the store and give Reed Creek barbecue sauce a try.
Okay. I definitely will.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question. I don't know if you can answer, and if you don't, that's fine.
I'll try.
Do you have a favorite barbecue restaurant around?
There's, we're blessed because there are some good ones around here. Backstreet's very good. The Shack in 𝗪𝗂𝗪 is very good.
Oh, I've not tried that one.
Bar H
Bar H
is good, but the one that stands out in the area for me is in Livonia, and that's Southern Appalachian barbecue. They really do. They smoke good meat. That's the way to put it.
And do they use your barbecue?
No, they do not use my sauce. They have their own stuff. But as far as smoking the meats and everything, they know what they're doing. It's always been fresh, hot, and they sell out all the time. So that tells you something right there.
Right.
So,
do most of the barbecue restaurants use their own sauce?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably more economical that way.
Yeah, it's almost like, I can't go to my a barbecue restaurant with my sauce, and that's almost,
You don't keep a little bottle, a little stash aside?
I've had people that say that they do, but everybody, what makes them unique is their own sauce.
Yeah.
And so,
I bet it's hard to go to a barbecue restaurant and have barbecue since you're so good at it yourself.
you tend to judge a little bit more than you like to, but good barbecue stands out on its own. So if it's good, it's good, and if it's not, then it doesn't take an expert to know that. So
I love your journey, how your culinary journey is where it started, and just how it's come all the way back around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, life happens that way.
Well, I've always been a foodie because of my background in that. And my daughter, she picks up in my footsteps, and we love to go try new restaurants and get together and do everything. And my son's finally coming out of his chicken nugget and hot dog shell where he's trying new food with us and everything. So it's been a family affair to go out and just enjoy new restaurants. And there's so much out there.
Okay. So one last time, how can people find you?
Well, right now, I don't have a website, but I do have the Facebook page, and it's Reed Creek Barbecue Sauce, and you can follow me there and keep up where I'm doing all my tastings, and we'll be doing a couple of festivals in Livonia. We'll be at I think it's the Taste of Livonia in September, the end of September, and then again, I'll be doing, I think it's called Hearttober here on Depot Street. I'll be at that at the end of October. And so, but I do taste testings and give out samples here and there just to get everybody familiar and to get Reed Creek barbecue sauce on their lips and get more addicts.
So Facebook is the way to find you?
Facebook is my page. So,
okay. Yeah. And just to be sure, if someone wants to buy the sauce, they need to find a place to buy it rather than order it online or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't do online sales.
I don't blame you.
But with the price of postage and everything else. But like I say, it's a homegrown product, and there's no artificial ingredients, no liquid smoke. It'll definitely up your barbecue game for your backyard barbecue.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, thank you again. And I want to thank you for watching today. And I'm Debbie Henry, your Hartwell Hustle. And this is Scot Howard. And he has Reed Creek barbecue sauce. And they can go anywhere, really, in town and get it. Yeah, that's like I said, it's at Hometown Butcher, Ace Hardware, Reed Creek General Store, Market 50, and Quality Foods here in Hartwell. Okay, good. I love it. Local helping local. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.